All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. There we go. We hit 10K subs. Pretty excited about that. Thank you guys for being subscribers of the channel and tuning in every day to the live streams. Let's see what we have for today. NASDAQ yesterday showed a big bearish continuation down and through the 25K zone, that 25K level of interest. Look at this daily. Look at that daily. Let's take a look at the weekly too. We got some time here. So the weekly looks like it wants to curl lower. The weekly, looking at the weekly here, really starts to look way more bearish once price takes out these lows right through here. But look at the range that we have been in. I mean, my God, that's been terrible. Terrible, terrible choppiness. Choppy. So it should be an interesting close to the week here. What I'm going to be watching for today is pretty simple. I like to keep my approach as simple as possible. And for today, that's going to be a focus on prior day low. Prior day low gives us a very nice reference point to kind of gauge the interest of buyers in this near-term bearish environment. And essentially, if we see continued action below prior day low, I would expect that the overnight low will be flushed and price will work on trading down into 24,500. That would be sort of that larger daily and weekly time frame area of support down into there. Now, on the flip side of that, if we do see buyers defend prior day low, we do have some good upside targets to work with up into 24,900. Remember this pivot right through here, pretty significant. And then up into 25K and potentially up into 25,200. So pretty straightforward game plan for today, for this morning. That's going to hinge on how price responds to the prior day low. Doesn't look like we have any 10 a.m. data prints for this morning. So nothing to worry about there. Yesterday, trend lower just continued, right? Price marked a low right at 785. You get a pretty large bounce there, 300 plus point bounce from the low. Let's take a look at ES. We got a couple minutes here. Taking a look at ES, potentially breaking some near-term support as well. Good old S&P. ES has held up much better than NASDAQ. I mean, this thing is still only 2.5% from the all-time high there. See our daily chart. Yeah, so if price starts to break, I mean, really, I'd be looking at this low right through here, 68.20. If price starts to break that 68.20 on ES, you may see a larger breakdown in the making. Pratik is showing jolts at 10 a.m. All right, I got to check that. That's good info. So ES weekly. Let's see YM. YM has just been holding its own here, doing its own thing. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Let's go ahead and close all the unnecessary tabs. Okay. Make sure our news feed is dialed in. Which it is not. What is going on here? Okay, there we go. News feed is dialed. Tradeovate appears to be working. And we have a little more than 1 minute till the open. Russell. See that gold. Okay. And let's see. Oh, yeah. I see that. Jolts at 10 a.m. That was supposed to be Monday, right? Monday or Tuesday? Okay, so prior day low, main focus this morning, NASDAQ. Good volume during this pre-market session. We got a fresh trade day 50K funded account added to the quiver, added to the prop farm. Trade day is pretty solid. I don't know if anyone has used trade day. There's your open. And right through the overnight low, right away. Yeah, trade day has a similar model to take profit trader with the daily withdrawals. Daily withdrawals, and I think no consistency. I'm not 100% sure on that. So fresh lows being made here. Staying patient for now. I was looking at either action above prior day low. I'm going to wait for 24,500 to trade. Overnight low is not in my game plan for this morning based on the near term bearish backdrop. So no interest in the overnight low. Good volume right off the open. That's good to see. That's always good. Little push there. Let's see how prior day low is going to be treated. Can price make a session high, break above prior day low, hold above, break above and hold above? So far, no. Opening 5 minute is getting ready to close. We do have a gap lower. Okay, there's a very slight new high of day. And there's your prior day low being retested. So if we can see price hold above prior day low and then offer some sort of market structure based entry, I'll definitely be interested in that. There's 840, 845, 850. There's 800. So let's see if price can hold above or not. We are in a more volatile environment, so structures are wider. Make sure you're double checking those risk points. Know how much risk you have on the table. You don't want to be surprised. Never want to be surprised. Session volume point of control looks like it just shifted lower for the extended hours. And back beneath prior day low. Okay, might be holding there. New high of day. There we go. Coming into 900. That was a tough one. They shook me out initially. I got shaken initially. That's even with giving it some breathing room. So we're coming into 900 here. I like to see a clean break of 900. And the idea right there was the break above, prior day low, retest. See how this 1 minute bar closes with price testing 900 right here. So this target zone. So fairly strong push. I'm gonna give it some breathing room. See if it has some more upside here. Up into 25K maybe. Mike trailed out. Nice trade, man. So Nasdaq still just kind of faltering here in that, at least on the micro time frames, near 900. You got VWAP right in that area as well. There we go. So if we get a fresh high here, I'll be able to lift the trail. Just a retest so far. There we go. So lift it, lift the trail. And look at that. That's one micro up $240. Now copy traded. Imagine copy traded across 20 plus accounts, right? You don't need to trade huge size to put up a nice day, especially when markets are volatile. But the prop firms, they love it when you trade big size because you're just going to blow up that account. Then you're going to be swiping your credit card again. So they'll tell you can trade, 50 micros. Does not mean that you should. May get trailed here. NQ kind of struggling with 900. It's 900 zone. Yeah, there's the trail. We'll take it. We'll take that. So initially, that trade unfortunately took 2 attempts, got shaken out of the first attempt. That was even with giving it some buffer. But like I always say, if price continues to prove your idea correct, you can re-enter, right? As traders, it's not uncommon for us to be a little bit early because we're watching every single tick. Sometimes that idea needs a couple more minutes to really pan out. So let's see what's next here. I'll be focused on how price kind of responds to this red zone that you can see right there. All right, Jeff. Nice work. Nice work, man. Have a good day. Fresh highs, just about 24,930. So no re-entry on my end. We're just got the two trades here. We're staying patient. Staying patient. 1 for 2. There's your fresh high. And we still have 15 minutes till 10 a.m. So if we can see another, if we can identify some sort of re-entry here near 900, I would be interested. I would definitely be interested. Typically, this bullishness can continue at least until 10 a.m. So probability tends to favor. Still looking at some very wide structures, though. I mean, even this little 1 minute structure right here, what are we talking about? 87 points. So if you trade market structure, right? If you set stops based on market structure, which you should be doing, invalidation points, then your stops are naturally going to be much wider, much wider when you have this volatility. So you have to drop size. Gotta drop size. Gotta be done. That's why it's tough. Yes, sir. But dropping size definitely helps. Even down to just one little micro. One micro. They need to drop the nano. They need to bring out the nano contracts. 1/10 of 1 micro. I mean, this thing's at 25K. Let's see the nano contracts. When did the micros come out? I think NQ was probably at like 10K or something. So NASDAQ just churning right here near 900. Yeah, I hear you. With one micro, you can't scale. Can't scale out. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But it's either that. I mean, depending on how much risk you can take, to either drop the size or look at ES, look at something else entirely, MES. Or just if the structure is too wide, even with just baby size, it's just a waiting game. The alternative is you could drop time frame, look for tighter signals, 15-second chart, something like that. Just prefer to wait. Yeah, I hear you. That's good. That's good. That's not common. It's not a that's not it's not a common thing that traders say. It's like usually the exact opposite. So that's a skill set. Being able to wait, being able to stay patient. Nasdaq just kind of barcode on the 1 minute back into session highs, 24,935, and we have 10 minutes till 10 a.m. We do have jolts at 10 a.m. So some market data. Let's see what Google is doing. I saw they reported earnings. Yeah, Google's rallying this morning. There's Nasdaq fresh highs. So your upside target 25K. Let's see. And just right back into the zone. Right back into it. Volume kind of tapered off as well. So 900 stays as the focus. See what ES is doing. So ES is right near prior day low as well. GC is demanding like 15-point stops. With my risk limit, can't do much on that either. Yeah, GC and silver, the metals have just been insane volatility. I saw last night Apex block trading. They either blocked it or heavily limited it on metals, following in Top Steps footsteps. Staying patient right now. Not much else to do here. The main kind of idea I wanted, we captured. Took 2 attempts, unfortunately, but that's how it goes sometimes. So we'll see what's next. We will see what is next. Volume's already coming below average. And we have 5 minutes till 10. So NQ might be rolling over here. This market has been heavy. Heavy, heavy. Check out that higher time frame. Where's my 30-minute? There we go. Big doji. DZ functional. You do this every day? Yeah, we're live pretty much every day. Pretty much daily. NASDAQ getting back into prior day low. I like the level. I don't like the time of day right now. I'm gonna wait till after 10 a.m. Just operating with extra caution in this bearish environment, especially because I focus on longs. So don't need to be a gunslinger. Don't need to be too aggressive. Always a little tough to watch a setup kind of materialize just before that data print. Yeah, same page. Same page with you right there. All right, a little more than 1 minute till 10. So post 10 a.m., after 10 a.m., I want to see how price responds again to this prior day low. It's the main reference point for this morning. And we're supposed to be having jolts here at 10 a.m. All right, 3 seconds. Got that 10 a.m. data print. NQ 30-minute close as a perfect doji. That is wild. An actual perfect doji. It's like a textbook doji on that 30-minute. Hourly, too. And here we go. Prior day low is gone. PDL. Price getting into overnight low. Overnight low not in my plan for today. So not interested in engaging with price in that area. This might be a sit back and chill kind of morning here. Basically flat with that initial prior day low. Long idea, a little bit too early to start. But price continued to prove me correct. So we hit it again. And now NASDAQ coming into session lows pretty much. Yeah, Pratik, it's been a while. I haven't hit the golf in a while. How we doing? How's everyone's morning? Staying alive, hopefully. These are wide structures. Hope no one's getting beat up. Cash, green, green. All right. All right. Nice work. Nice work, Mike. Nice work, Dave. Manish, cash. Good patience. Josh went for two. Nice work. Catrick got your trade day done in prop. Solid. D-wall red. It's early, D-wall. It's early. Muggsy went green to red, staying patient now. Yeah, careful. Careful. Don't, if you feel yourself getting heated, just chill. Just chill, right? You don't wanna make it worse. So dealing with some wide structures here. Remember, drop size. I've said it like 10 times now, but it's important. It's important. So NASDAQ getting back into the lows, kind of a little bit of churn here near overnight low. Cut down size from 1 mini to 3 micro after your advice. Nice. That's what I like to hear right there. D-Wall 900 level chop me up. That was a tough area, man. That was a tough spot for sure. Catrick, I don't like these wide structures. Only have a small account, so in these conditions, even 1 micro is technically over risking for me. At least you're aware. At least you have the awareness of the structures, of your risk points. That's huge. That is huge. A lot of traders, when the volatility increases, they don't really notice that the structures are wider because like TradingView and these other charting platforms do a very, very good job of scaling the price action onto the screen. So it gets scaled. You just see a green hammer, you just see your setup, you just see whatever you're looking for, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna enter. You go to put that stop in, and you're like, oh wow, why is the stop like 80 points away? Uh-oh. So I just I repeat it because you want to understand upfront rather than on the backside of a trade that goes against you. You're at daily loss limit or you ate a loss that was much larger than you were expecting. Doesn't feel good. And not only that, it can put you on tilt. It can make you frustrated. So it can bring out more emotions. Not what we want. So NQ getting into the lows here. Per my plan, there's not a lot that I can do down here, honestly, until like down into 500. Seems like pretty far away, but it's 160 points on an index that is quite volatile right now and has already moved 300 points from the highs today. So it's not that much lower, relatively speaking. There's your new low of day. And I'm still just chilling with my two trades. Big volatility. What makes a market have big volatility? Uncertainty, fear, emotions. Market participants are emotional, they're fearful, they're uncertain. So if they sell and the market pukes, tends to increase volatility. It's like a sentiment machine, feeds into itself. So then that generates even more fear, right? Oh, I got to get out. I got to get out. I got to sell. It's never going to go up again. Ah. And they panic. They panic. So, I mean, that's kind of it's a short way to put it, right? Less liquidity. Yeah, that'll do it. Liquidity dries up. There's no counterparty to take the other side of that trade. So NQ a little retest and reject right there at overnight low. Volume's improving. We got some volume improvement. I'd like to see a little more. But like I said, I'm looking at 24, 500, and then maybe down there like a 5 minute hammer. Some clear signs of a stronger reversal. What are we on the hourly? Let's check out our 4 hour. You can see all the support right in that zone. You see the daily. It's kind of interesting though. On the higher time frame, you see this structure right here. Look how we make a high, we make an all-time high. Price has a fairly deep retracement, right? And then it builds out a little bit of resistance right here, right? It looks above this area of resistance, fails to hold above, and now we have all this selling. Look at this from January 2025. Got a nice push, all-time high, pulls back, builds out all this resistance right here, right? Looks above all this selling. Look what happens after. I'm not saying that we're going to have, this massive pullback again, but the structure, how it actually builds out, the kind of distribution structure there is almost identical to what we saw last January. I was just glancing at the daily chart last night and noticed the similarities pretty much between this right here and what we have over the past few months. Those basic Wyckoff, nothing too special. Okay, NASDAQ, we're getting there. We're getting there. Near-term pivots have broken, but still within the range. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would not say the structure has fully broken down yet, especially looking at the weekly chart. Once price kind of takes out like these lower wicks down here, we get another weekly bar down beneath this area. Yeah, this structure's done. Intermediate term will turn from neutral, which is sideways, to bearish. Let's check the monthly. Yeah, monthly. I mean, we got a lot of month left. We got a lot of month left. Uh, Tara and X, I'm an 18-year-old hustling designer. If I make a 10x better thumbnail for your live streams, will you consider it? Let me see how many subscribers you have really quick on your YouTube channel. Oh man, 125. 125. So, do you have any proof? Do you have any proof? Because I see 125 subscribers on your channel. You might need to take thumbnail lessons from me, my man. We just hit 10K subscribers. What's going on? So no, I'm good. I'm good, but thank you. Pratik, thank you, sir. It's been a long journey. It's been a long, long journey. I mean, if someone makes shoes, why would he try and beat Usain Bolt? That's the wrong analogy. That's the wrong analogy. You would want to have you're talking about uh those are two totally different things. That would be like a running coach. You would want a running coach that actually knows how to run. It's the same thing when you walk into the gym. You don't want to have a trainer that is massively overweight and has never lifted. But thanks for coming in, man. Here, let me help you. I'm gonna put you in the VIP club. There you go. So Naz, look at the little bounce here. Kind of in no man's land. No man's land. NML. Still chilling. We got our two trades. Two trades, one idea. Not a lot else I can do just yet. So we got to stay patient. Or just because the market is moving does not mean you have a setup, does not mean you need to be or should be doing anything. Looks like APT going absolutely insane. Look at that. Two shorts. Two shorts on APT, NQ, and YM. Just letting it do its thing, trades in the background. Don't need to mess with it. Just let it ride. Let it ride. We're working on 3.1 right now. We ran into another. I'll post an update in the automation chat. Another little hiccup. So sorry for the delay on that if you've been waiting on it. Just want to make sure it's right. Currently I have the APT to NQ only. Has YM been successful and looking good? Yeah, YM. The back testing is on the website for YM. I like YM because I mean today's not a good example of this, but typically it's not going to be correlated with NQ, which is helpful. So if NQ is in a drawdown period, YM can help to offset that. Now, running two at the same time, of course, is going to increase your total exposure, but I like having them both on personally. Quick question. Do you keep your trading view chart on ETH or RTH? So this is extended hours. I like to see the overnight action. I like to get a sense of what that overnight action has done. So I keep it on ETH, and then I do have one. I do have one RTH chart. I do have one 5 minute RTH chart, and the main purpose of this is just kind of see gives me a good sense of prior day structure, prior day profile. So this is very helpful for an inside day. If we have an inside day, I'll pull more information from the prior day session. And so I keep this kind of ready at all times. 5 minute RTH is within my workflow. I have the higher time frame analysis, and this one I mean, you see me all the time. I'm toggling between, 2 hour, hourly, 30 minute, whatever. I totally take a multiple time frame analysis approach. I don't just stick to one time frame. So, and then my intraday, kind of my main screen here is the 1 minute with volume profile on it, and then my levels marked out. If NQ is doing well, it means YM is taking losses. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Possible, right? But not necessarily. I mean, the back testing for both looked very, very good. So they're not completely inversely correlated. But I mean, if you like what NQ is doing, you can leave it there. Right now I've got both. Got both. And they're both short right now. NQ almost getting into 500. See if we get one more kind of little flush lower. Wow, it's still early. It's still early. I thought it was way later. I thought we were way later. Thought we were way closer to 11. It's like Bitcoin's getting absolutely annihilated. Bitcoin down what, 50%? 47% Bitcoin. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to kind of see there's a wide zone, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it stop somewhere through here, start to consolidate. Any Bitcoin holders out there? or maybe Bitcoin shorters. Let's see the monthly. Yeah, that monthly. Woo! That's what, 5 months in a row down. But who knows? It might just double up, back up soon. Yeah, I mean, I'm a long term buyer per teak. I'm a multi decade buyer, right? Long term. Not a crypto guy either, but a little diversification. Never killed anyone. So I've got some weekly buys on Bitcoin. Josh sold my Bitcoin back when it was 6 pennies. Oh man. Oh man. Howie, I accumulated one BTC back in the day and I've just kept it. 14K average. My man. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's awesome. I bet psychologically it's tough to add when you have an average that low. I'll be like, man, I don't want to mess up my average. It's so good. Okay, so check out NASDAQ, value area low, previous intraday structure, right? Reject. And give me a fresh low. Fresh low. ES pushing the lows. ES almost into 6,800. Yeah, 68 ES 6,800 down to 6780 ish. Big support zone. See if buyers have any interest. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Mhm. Vin, love the APT doing two-way at the moment. Heck yeah. On NQ and YM? What's your setup? What's your setup there? NQ two-way, 3 MNQ, MYM two-way, 6. Solid. Good setup. Good deal. Good deal, man. Heck yeah. Okay, NQ. Let's press the lows already. Come on. NQ Trader, congrats on your 10K subs. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. What's the next big milestone after 10K? I want to say 100K, but that feels like so far away. Maybe 20. Double it. 20K, 25K. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything, right? But it's cool. It's fun. To me, it's a indication that people are getting value from what we put out, and that's the goal. That's just the goal to kind of, we've never been about signals or anything like that. It's just about modeling good trading behavior, because most traders do not have an issue with trade ideas. Trade ideas are pretty easy. They have an issue with their own behavior. They have an issue with their own patience, their own discipline, right? It's not typically an idea issue. What I'll put an asterisk on that and say once you're like a year plus into the game. If you're brand new, yeah, you're not gonna know what a trade idea is. Phil says longs only changed the game for me just for clarity of when to participate. Heck yeah. I love it. I love it. And there's more ways in which you can really just narrow down your system and focus on less. It just brings, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. Like it brings so much clarity. You don't feel like this kind of almost like an overwhelming sense of pressure to make a decision when prices getting into an area where you could possibly place a trade, right? Kind of have a system that is outlined with a subset of rules that keep you engaged in certain areas and you're only going to do certain things. Now, if it's too wide, you're going to be placing too many trades. You're going to have decision fatigue, probably not going to get the direction just right, and you're not going to feel in control. It's a common issue for developing traders, lack of control, feeling like, They don't have control over their actions. Of course, we cannot control the outcome in the market, but you want to have control over your process and over your actions. And a big way to do that is just again, almost like yeah, it's kind of like restricting yourself, right? You have to create these frameworks and these rules that just exist in a very narrow area because the market is going to be moving all day long. We say all the time setups are a dime a dozen. Setups happen all day long, but setups number 1, that's not a strategy. An entry is not a strategy. And number 2, we don't need to catch every move. Like to actually make a pretty good living in trading, you don't need to catch every move. You don't need to sit here all day. Like you can seriously make a living on 1 to 2 trades per day. And start small. Start small to prove that you can do it and then scale. But you got to prove you can do it first. There's always this desire to rush and to add size, add scale, which I understand. I get it, but you got to stay small enough, long enough, and then after that, you can grow into some bigger size. Critique Kyle has affected me very positively with longs only. I love it. I love it. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, Dave. Got to thank you for that. And man, that golf has saved me a fortune becoming a professional golfer. It's so funny because it's such like a simple way to occupy our time. But, a lot of the trades that we end up regret taking, when we look back on them, they were taken out of boredom. They were boredom trades. We were looking for some sort of dopamine hit. That's what the brain is always. We gotta think about, our lizard brain. What does the brain want? Brain just wants that little spike of dopamine, and we know we might be able to get it by just slapping some NQ contracts is just one click away, right? And so if you can kind of occupy yourself with something else and distract yourself almost, as strange as it sounds, you can be more productive with your trading. Then try to recover that spiral. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You take a board. It's like this is the cycle. Take a boredom trade, then you're frustrated because you took the boredom trade. Now you're going to take that out on the market. You're going to revenge trade to try and get that back. Oh man, I know that's like a doom loop right there. I know that one super well. It's not fun. It is not a fun time. It's a good way to just ruin progress. You could ruin, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, but in one day we could unwind weeks of progress. So it's a sensitive thing, unfortunately, but I do think that over time of just having good habits, it does get easier. You're just in the habit of doing less, you're in the habit of being patient and disciplined, right? But during those first few weeks of kind of rewiring your brain, it's definitely tougher. It takes intention. You have to be intentional with what you're doing. So NQ's on the move right now. We may have a little intraday change of character right here. Let's see if price can kind of hold above this area. Volume, nothing to write home about, right? Anyone have any trades post 10 a.m.? Critique is just repetition of actions, either good or bad. It just compounds. Yes. 100%. 100%. Yeah, we want those good habits. It's easy to have the bad habits. And the problem is once you have the bad habits, kind of reworking them and getting the new good habits back into your process, that is what is tough because you're going to have relapses into the bad habits. It's normal, not just in trading, in anything in life. Still cash. I'm cash post 10 a.m. I've not put another trade on. This is just I'm just staying patient because I recognize this is not my environment. Not my environment, so not a lot to do. That was a nice little pop there off the lows. 560 into 660. That's a 100-point move. Whiteboard with rules on it, Dave. Yeah, that can be super helpful. You could do something super simple and just put like a piece of paper right in front of your keyboard, like almost attached to your monitor, right? Little things like that, like little visual cues can be super helpful. I have found anyway. Little note, right? Little reminder. Even setting out, doing like a little handwritten, just a couple of quick handwritten bullets before the session starts of some things you want to focus on for the day's session, whether that be staying extra patient or you're looking for some particular setup. Just taking a minute to write it down can be helpful, slows you down a little bit. There's a lot of little I hate to call them hacks, but there's a lot of little hacks that you can use to kind of help your game. Problem is a lot of people just don't want to do this stuff. Just don't want to do it. It's work. It is work. When you're only trading one side of the market, the rules are easy to be actively aware of. Yeah, for sure. It's all about just narrow focus, right? Brings that focus down. Shorted silver and made 10K. Now I'm locked out for the session. Nice work. That was a great day right there. I think APT is cool. Do you think you would ever start to advertise large scale to people not in the think tank? We have an user cap on it right now. So I would consider some ads, but I feel like we would hit the cap pretty quickly. Plus, our team is pretty small. It's just me and Mish and a developer. So right now, there's only so many people we can handle. Shout out to Mish getting everyone set up. Dark to light, ES major support level at 6,800. Yeah, that's a big, big level on the daily. So NQ up and overnight low, rejection. Let's see, did we have some fib retracement there? Yeah, 38% fibbler. It's right there as well. Look at that rejection. Look at that rejection. Let's see if the lows, do the lows get taken out here? I'd like to see it. Well, we got about 13 minutes till 11 a.m. Predict something similar to yesterday. Then we got the move to below 25K. Today might be 24,500. I would like to see it. We're not too far off. I mean, the lows are only 50 points away. Only 50 yoints. Maybe an 11 a.m. little 11 a.m. reversal. We'll see here. See in the next 10 minutes. Session volume point of control right there. 588 holding for right now. Shampoo chart, Mish. Wow, we got Mish watching the stream. Rare. Oh, he's out of here. Scared him off already. Scared him off already. NQ bouncing versus session point of control. Okay, okay, that's getting more interesting for late morning. I'd want to see post 11 if this structure holds. Might be a tradable structure right through here. Mish, that early prior day low long got me undialed and distracted all morning. That was a nice trade, man. What are you talking about? We hammered that. We hammered that long. PDL long. Per plan. Oh, you celebrated too early. Oh, okay, okay, okay. 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 Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Paid the Kyle tax? Oh man, my bad. My bad. You know how many times I've paid the Mish tax though, so it all comes around. It all comes around. Check out meta right here. It might be time for the meta swing. Any swing traders in the chat? Might be time for the meta swing. We got the shout out to D-Wall. Got the idea posted up in the traders think tank. So we're keeping an eye on this one. Post earnings, gap has been filled. Back into the structure, back into last year's volume point of control right there. That's a yearly volume point of control. So it might be time for the long setup on Meta. Muggsy says, I'm a swinger with selling puts and spreads. Solid. Dark to light, one and done for the day. Nice work. Nice work. So Meta, check out that idea in the Traders Think Tank. That's under Swing and Alt Strategies, the Swing and Alt Strategies tab. I may grab some calls there. I'll post if I do. Netflix, Mish. Netflix. Oh, that looks nasty. What do you want me to do here? Weekly? Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Weekly spring. Yeah, so I like it if we get the if we get a hammer or some bullish engulfing, let me know. I'll try that. That's a good opportunity right there. Yeah, we could go for maybe I'll probably grab on a weekly chart, I would probably grab March or April calls. It's a good one. Netflix. Okay. Earnings is behind it now as well, so that's pretty nice. Man, how am I already hungry? That's crazy. Jeez, it's not even close to lunchtime. All right, let's see this 11 a.m. 11 a.m. action, and then honestly, it might just be time to call it. I'm looking for 500. This is the day so far. So the main idea we talked about was the prior day low, long setup, little push above a level, reclaim of the level, and then a retest, reclaim and retest. Mugsy buying calls post earnings, vol crush. Yeah. So you do credit spreads or what? I love some credit spreads. I like interactive brokers for credit spreads. They give you good margin there. Been getting more and more back into the options a little bit. Little bit. For those that don't know, that's my entire background. We did options only, full-time options for about 6, 7 years, and then pivoted into futures when I saw how much easier futures were. But the options swings are nice. I like the spreads. Options have a very they have a time and place. They have a time and place. Mugsy also put spreads are around 30 delta or just naked puts if the price is low enough. Solid. What platform? Interactive brokers? Mike, why did you buy puts of silver instead of shorting futures? So great question. Great question. Buying puts on something like that allows you to have a maximum defined risk point. So if I shorted futures, I could put a stop loss, right? But it's possible that that could get blown out with how the liquidity was in silver. It's possible that I could be caught heavily offsides with a gap, right? It's possible they could lift the margin requirements on me and then liquidate the position. If I buy puts on silver, and let's say I put $1,000 out on silver puts, the maximum possible that I can lose is the 1,000. The worst that can happen is those puts go to zero. And so that's exactly what I did. I sized the position for zero, and I knew that nothing sketchy could happen basically. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, pratique. Options to define risk. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We got Chrissy in the house. What's up, Chrissy? Mugsy Tasty trade. I've heard good things. I've heard good things. I'm just familiar with interactive brokers, so that's what I go with for the options. Good old IBKR. That's the opposite of Tasty Trade as far as their application. It is absolutely terrible. The worse the platform looks, the more professional it is in the world of trading and investing. There's a the inverse relationship there. All right, there's 11 a.m. It looks like that's going to be a wrap for my morning. I do like this structure that is kind of building out here, and I'm going to keep an eye on this. Essentially, what I would want to see is price retest this area, reject, right? That would kind of confirm the structure that's in play, get back down into this zone, and then ideally a spring setup of the low. And I would look at a long right there. The only other idea I would want to try is if price manages to reclaim prior day low again. I'll look at some market structure entry above prior day low. But there's my day right there. Basically flat, pretty uneventful. But this is not my environment. This is not my market right here as someone that is focused on longs. So got to recognize that. Take what you can get, just move on with your day. We do have the mentorship group call after the close today. If you're in the traders think tank, join us for the live call. If you're not in the think tank, jump in. Jump in. We got a lot of value to offer. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks for your time, everyone. Hope you had a good day. Hope you had a profitable morning. Hope you followed your rules. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you on Friday. Take care.